Hi guys, welcome to Cook with Bumak. Today I'm going to show you how to make delicious beans and sweet corn using simple everyday ingredients because I believe great meal doesn't have to be complicated. So let's dive right into it. Here I have my pepper mixture that I'm blending together. So this here we have scotch bonnet and little onions, and here on this lineup I have my ingredients on the table here. I have the beans, which is the star of this meal. This is oloyin beans, that's honey beans. We call it oloyin in oloyin in Yoruba. So here I'm already washing the beans is already washed, so I'm just adding it to the boiled water, and I'm going to be leaving it, cover it and leave it to cook for some few minutes so that I can parboil it. So I usually parboil my beans because of all the preservative that might have been used to preserve the beans. So I'll wash it off, add clean water, wash it like twice, then put it back on the fire and put a clean water, which is what I'm doing over here. I'm adding clean water that is going to cook the beans to soften. So also I'm trying to stir it here so that the water can distribute equally in the pots. Then I'm going to be adding some more water. I'm trying to be careful with water here because I don't want my beans to be, I don't want it to be watery. So that's why you see me trying to be careful with the water I'm adding. So now that I've added enough water that is going to cook the beans to soften, I'm going to add my salt. I'm going to add the right amount of salt that is going to be appropriate for this cooking. And also here I'm adding the Maggi. So this is like half of this tasty cube that I'm going to add in the beans. I don't want to use too much of seasoning. And also here we have the paste, the onion paste, which I'm going to be using half of it for the beans. Then the other half is going to be used in the pepper, the fried pepper that I'm going to be doing later on. So here I'm stirring the beans and the onion so that the flavor can distribute equally also. So that's what I'm doing here. And one thing you don't want to do is to manage your onion paste. So you have to be generous with your onion paste and crayfish, because those are the two like major things that is going to add flavor to this cooking. So here I'm checking it back and the beans is already softened here, so I'm going to be checking it. You'll see it by the time if you look at it closely, you'll see that the beans is already softened here. I'm trying to test it to see and be sure that my judgment is right on the beans. So now that the beans is cooked, I'm going to be covering it and putting it aside so that we can go ahead to fry our pepper mixture. So the sweet corn is here. I'm just adding it and mixing it up with the beans. I'm not going to let it overcook because it's already cooked and I don't want it soggy or losing its taste. So I've kept it aside. This is my frying pan, and my palm oil is on the fire. I'm adding my onions, and also this is the pepper mixture that I'm going to be adding. Then I'm going to be stirring this together. There's no much ingredients here. We are just using the basics, what you can already find in your house. That's what we are using in this cooking. This is my crayfish. I've added my crayfish and also the rest of the onion paste. Yes, I'm adding the rest of the onion paste here, and I'm going to be stirring everything together. We are going to be stirring it together. Also, we need to add some amount of tasty cube. So I'm also going to be using I'm not going to finish 1 cube of the tasty cube. Also, I'm adding a pinch of salt and also stir together. So here my pepper is already fried, and I'm going to go ahead now and mix the pepper with the beans and sweet corn. So yes, I've blended everything together here, and our beans is already looking yummy and delicious. Believe me, this beans is a banger. It's looking and tastes very good. Try this recipe and you confirm. So here I'm going to fry her side, which is plantain. This is my vegetable oil. I used it earlier on to fry some plantain, and now I'm reusing it again. So turning it into the pan and leaving it to heat up, I'm going to add the my plantain, the sliced plantain in it, and here you can see it's already fried into golden brown. It's already fried into golden brown, and this is the best way to fry your plantain. If you don't want it to get burnt, just stay there and ensure that you finish all the frying as you are there on the spot, because if you say you are leaving it on the fire, you might come back and meet it already burning. So this is the close look of our plantain. It's looking really beautiful and delicious. And let's go ahead to look at our pot of beans and sweet corn. As you can see, is looking really delicious. So dishing it here, I wish I can dish for you guys to also have a taste, but I tell you, try this recipe. Try it. It's just basic, but the taste is great. Tastes so great. So this is us after dishing this food, and look at it. Just look at what we have here. What more can you say? Once you have this your everyday ingredients, you can still make a great meal out of it. It's just by you going steps after steps, and at the end you see your food coming out with great taste. So thank you for watching.